Hi everybody, Hub Smash here, and I'm bringing you Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC. I'm super excited about this game. I know everybody is. And I've got it here. I played through the first mission because I had some issues with the benchmark, and I wanted to bring you guys what this game runs like on recommended specs or close to recommended specs. So the recommended specs are an Intel Core i5-3470 at 3.2 GHz or an AMD X8 FX 8350 at 4 GHz, memory 8 GB, video card NVIDIA GTX 662 gigs or an AMD HD 7870 at 2 gigs, and 65 gigs of hard drive space. And so my specs, I'm running an i7-950 quad core at 3.06 GHz. It's below the recommended, but it's you know, I don't know. It's below, but it's not below a huge amount. I have 6 gigs of memory, which is also below, but I don't expect that the game's going to take any more than 4 gigs realistically. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. My video card's NVIDIA GTX 660 Ti, 2 gig by EVGA. So that's significantly better than the GTX 660 2 gig that's in the recommended. And it's running on a 256 gigs solid state drive. So what I'm going to do is just, I was going to run a benchmark, but like I said, I had some issues with it. It was doing some weird thing where it was like failing a mission. It was trying to start the story mode. It was, I don't know what was happening, to be honest. At one point, I was in control of a plane, I think. I don't even know. No idea. So now I'm just trying to tweak it to get it to the right settings for my rig. And I kind of think that I'm at it now. So I want to go over it with you. You have to turn on the ignore suggested limits if you want to be able to turn the the texture quality up to high or very high. I have mine set to high right now, and you can see it's taking up 2287 meg of 2047. So it is working. I was getting, I started the game and I walked a couple of feet. I was getting 60 FPS. I might see texture pop-ins later, or I might have issues later. It does warn you that it causes stability issues or frame rate drops, things like that. We'll see. I really don't know. I've got MSAA off. If I turn this up to 2 times, it takes up a bit more video memory and also cuts my performance down by about 20 FPS, which I'm okay to drop some anti-aliasing, but I do have FXAA on, which is the, you know, kind of like a poor man's anti-aliasing. VSync is off, because if it goes over 60 FPS, you know, that's okay. And I find VSync makes my mouse feel delayed. Pause game on focus loss. Population density is at the max. Population variety is a little bit lower. This is what it was preset to. Distance scaling is at the max. Texture quality is on high, as I mentioned before. Shaders at very high. Shadow quality very high. Reflection quality very high. Reflection MSAA is off. Water quality very high. Particles very high. Grass quality high. Soft shadows softer. Post effects very high. Motion blurs halfway. And in-game depth of field is on. Anisotropic filtering. Anisotropic filtering is at 16 times. Ambient occlusion's at high. Tessellation's at high. I could probably turn these up. I could probably turn that to very high, but I'm going to just leave it at what it was at because it looked like it was performing really well. Maybe I'll do some more testing later. Long shadows. I don't even know what long shadows are, to be honest. High resolution shadows are going to take up a lot of more memory, I would imagine. Extended distance, high detail streaming when flying. I believe that's your wings and the streaming in the air. I'm not exactly sure. Extended distance scaling, so it looks like you can actually extend the draw distance even further. It seemed pretty far to me just at what it was at, but for those of you who want to extend this further, I'm not going to mess with this just yet, but it's an option there. An extended shadows distance, I'm going to leave that as well. I don't think that my rig is able to do these advanced power settings, I'll call them. I don't really know what to call them. So let's get into the game. And let's just try the first mission. I played through that little prologue kind of area, and I found it great. And I'll report FPS drops. You might be able to see them, but it's running at about 55, 58 FPS. But keep in mind I'm recording, so that could have a drastic impact on my actual performance. I imagine it's going to take 5 to 10% of my performance. So if you're not recording and you have very similar specs to me, you can probably get away with the same settings and get a static 60. But let's see how it is driving through the city. See how that pop-in is, if there's any texture pop-ins. Alright. Wow. Alright. So I don't know the controls really or anything. I'm still learning as I go. I played the game on PlayStation 3 for about 10 hours in single player and maybe 10 hours online. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that when I heard there was a PC version, I immediately abandoned the PS3 version. And so I don't really remember. That was about, I don't know, 16, 17 months ago. So it's performing really well. Just below 60 FPS constantly. I imagine if I'm in an area with maybe lots of explosions or fire or volumetric effects, things like that, I'll probably have some issues, or not issues, but I'll see some drop. I can. Oh shit! Oh, I avoided him. I didn't want to hurt the alien because, you know, I'm a fan of aliens. But I think this is a pretty good indicator of what the FPS will look like, what it will look like on a very mediocre rig. So I'm just going to stop the recording now and finish up this mission. And then I'm going to start doing the Let's Plays, or the playthrough. I plan on playing through the entire game, 100% completion, or close to. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the full 100%. But I encourage you guys to follow along. If you like this video, if you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I think I covered everything. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be playing this game for about 24 hours, recording and uploading videos on my secondary computer. And, oh, whoops. And so I'm going to be having games come out over the next, videos coming out over the next 24 hours. You'll just see a stream of them. So feel free to follow along. I'd love for your feedback. I'd love for you to be a part of my life, really. I want you to be in my life. Get involved. But not too involved, because that's weird. But yeah, so leave a comment. Let me know. Let me know what you're running it on. Let me know what you got. I'd like to hear it. Thanks again.